How scary is this lane gonna be? Like, you've got a tiny Crystal Maiden lane, you've got a slow, you've got stuns, you've got so much going on here. Are you nervous if you're the off lane for Fantasy?
I think you're pretty happy still. You have that Night Rain on Night Stalker, so probably going to be pretty fine in the first like 5 minutes since he has that nighttime. He's very fast, so any toss back play is kind of mitigated by him just running back again. But it is a good combo lane, especially when it gets his levels going in. I think the bigger thing for me to look towards is the Storm and what rotations he can make out of that mid lane. And rune control is going to be more important than ever. It's a Puck versus Storm game, so minute 6. If I don't see 4 supports running for those runes, you know, you better have a good excuse. You know, it better be a funeral or something. If you're not at the runes, it better be important.
Yeah, I'm curious if we will see like who's going to be making these rotations early on, the way that they're going to ward to protect him, because that's very, very important for both heroes. I feel like Puck's just a little slipperier just by nature. But the Storm, definitely, you know, you need to try to shut him down.
Yeah, and he gets more punished now by dying repeatedly since the galvanized thing is the old bloodstone, basically. So any kill on him does hurt his mana regen going forward as well. So you're extra incentivized to go for him. A lot of damage here onto a Timber, actually. Not committing a blood grenade for it, though. They still have another stun. Going for it?
Yeah, it looks like they should be able to get it. I was wondering. I was like, are they playing around with him? But then he also revealed the fact that he went for that that whirling death. So
yeah, quick takedown there, nice for them. Or quick, I don't know, but they chased them down and easy kill at least.
See the Enchantress just trying to make use of the space that they have now with taking some time to come back down.
Yeah, I like what the Ench is doing, paradising, throwing some impetus the way of Timbersaw, making sure to abuse him before he gets his reactive armor as well.
Mid lane, I don't anticipate much happening here. I feel like Robozine's Latums, like, it's been a while since I watched them meet up at mid, but from what I recall, they're pretty evenly matched generally.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be too one-sided. I feel both heroes are pretty fine. Puck is a pretty weak laner usually, but against Storm, does fairly well. Can't really get hit by the Static Revenant at all, since you just hide behind the creeps all the time.
I think we're not really going to see much action until those water runes come up. We want to see, you know, those rotations, those moves.
Yeah, it's gonna be bottom and top lane for sure. The side lanes are gonna be where the most action will likely happen. They have level 2 already on Hoodwink on top.
Oh, interesting. They went for an early point in that Arcane Aura on MJZ. On the top lane, they're going to try to make some moves. Avalanche coming into play. They're not that blood grenade.
It missed.
Drake chasing after him.
Didn't connect the blood grenade on the CM.
Did not. Looks like MJZ will live to fight another day. Another little slow tossed out, but no more mana on her currently.
He gets to tangle the enemy tree, at least, that they planted, the Iron Branch that was used to try and block some vision there. But yeah, close to getting a kill. CM has to be very careful about getting too close in this lane.
I'm a little surprised, just because, like, I'm looking at this Crystal Maiden, she didn't bring much for mana regen.
Yeah,
and I feel like this could be a potentially super, super aggressive lane. Did opt for going for the Arcane Aura to kind of offset it, but, like, I feel like that's the strength of this lane, right? Is the fact that, you know, if you bring that mana regen there, whether it's a Mango Clarity, whatever, you can just constantly, you know, be spamming spells and just make so much space here. I don't know.
Yeah, he sent
Feels
it out
odd.
now. He got some mangoes on the courier, but he didn't start with them. He started with a bit of stats from the circlet. But finally now with the 2 mangoes in inventory, he's ready to cast spells. But like you said, a point in Arcane Aura means he can't really combo that well yet. So they need level 3. That's going to be a bigger power spike for them. So right now, the Night Stalker and Hoodwink are way stronger on top.
So what's the mentality on getting the circlet? Just like having the extra attributes just feels better for like clicking, or?
It's about survival, trying to have enough HP to not get bursted, but I still feel the Mango is probably better just to have kill potential on level 2. Again, damage just being dished out here. No.
Toss under tower. Drake, you should know better than that. Takes a decent amount of damage, but still fairly tanky on the Stalker. He's got the double bracers.
Just imagine a frostbite under a tower there to keep him even longer, you know, like this aura, it's doing a nice job recovering the mana of the CM, but just I always feel like QW is a nicer start for CMs.
Do you think part of it has to do with like they have a very mana like hungry team, right? You've got a Timbersaw, you've got a Storm Spirit, like they wanted to give that sort of advantage?
It is helping for sure. I think that's definitely playing into it, but it's still only 0.4 mana regen for Storm.
Oh, nicely done by RoboZ. Use that Waning Rift to hop 4, make sure that he can grab the Water Rune.
Yeah. Unbothered by the Spirit Breaker there, very nice. And maybe even realizes there's a high ground ward there. The charge, you know, could have been cast when he was in lane, but it could also be that there was high ground vision.
So yeah, interesting. No moves from top at all to go make sure that the Storm doesn't get the Water Rune, but do you see a little bit of an opening here to bully DCMC?
Yeah, the big one is going to be the Power Rune. The 6-minute active rune is the crucial one to not allow your opponent to get Storm halfway to level 6, level 5.5, and pretty much the same on.
A little bit of a toss back to JZ. There'll be a Frostbite plus the Blood Grenade. He's so fast right now. And again, he does have the double bracer plus that Lotus. Whereas, thought about turning back around, making space on MJZ, and they have a decent amount of damage from Zika, but we'll allow it just to live for now.
Interesting build on a Tiny, by the way. Going for the Soul Ring. I have not seen a lot of safe lane Tinys going for Soul Ring. Especially having the CMR as well in this lane. Really prioritizing having his nukes available.
I feel like this is all building around the nuke, right? Because of Crash Landing.
Yeah, he's maxing it. He's not maxing the E, so this is a completely different playstyle from the carry Tiny that we saw. HFN was it, right? Playing it.
I'm kind of loving it, honestly. Like, obviously, it's not bloodied. It's not shown yet, but I think this might be a very... what's the word? Satisfying way to play this hero if you want to be super, super aggressive early.
Yeah, I think it's nice for harassment in lane. He's just yeeting in his catapult onto the Night Stalker here. And the 6 minutes, look at all the supports. Yeah, they did it.
Everybody's here. It's going to be a haste rune. Oh, look at this. He's going to try to go for it. And it's not going to work out for them. But does have the Crystal Maiden here, going to be able to put out a little bit of that damage. Make sure that Slatums doesn't end up dying. Although he's just going to be an annoying little squirrel. Chase after him.
Has to be careful not to run too far there, as the Storm could have turned it around, but he doesn't have a point in Vortex yet. It's a Vortex skill build here on Slatum.
Drake is so low. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's all these tosses. The Soul Ring is actually working out really nice. 3 points now in toss, and once he gets ulti, the toss damage is going to be really high.
He ended up grabbing himself some raindrops, like, to deal with the nuke damage. Like, I haven't seen people really pick up raindrops too often anymore, but it's just becoming a situation where he kind of needs them.
Oh yeah, he definitely does. He can't even stay in lane, and right now the Tiny is in his tower range, just denying creeps freely, so dominating that top lane.
Wisdom runes are up. Zika's going to be able to snag it up. It's like no one's grabbed the other
Bottom
one
lane,
just
they're
yet.
committing for Timber.
Underneath his tower. They really want this, but in comes Slatums. He's going to be able to turn this back around. Illic somehow surviving. Slatum still just continuing. There it is. There's the kill.
Very nice for them. They're baiting. I mean, it's a big commitment diving a Timber under tower. And Storm, right place, right time, shows up. Gets a little kill contribution there. Didn't get lasted as Timber yoinked it.
I get nervous because he didn't take a point in Vortex. And I'm like watching this Chaos Knight just kind of start to walk away. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit weird, but it's not terrible. The more I thought about it, the more I maybe don't hate it. But it's only 60 mana for Vortex, you know? You do want 1 point in it so you can cancel TPs and stuff.
Parker. The gank trio of 3. There's not much that Crystal Maiden can really do here. They've got plenty of nuking damage. And here we go. It's a nice little toss. Avalanche, rather, coming in, but the impetus at the last second.
Simply too many heroes, and that's what you gotta do. If you want to shut down a Tiny, make sure you bring numbers, because he's so tanky as a carry. So they bring 4 heroes to top lane, get that kill. So both carries dying recently now.
They got to do something down here in the bot lane, though, now. You know that there's 4 heroes top. Like, take that tower, see if you can gank the CK. Although CK playing very, very safely, very smartly.
Yeah. They're tipping top as well to try and defend, so Tiny coming in. Gonna try and hold his tower with the help of CM.
Those overprotective wisps are coming into play. In comes Knight with a little bit of a charge. Followed up with an avalanche, and that'll be a redemption kill here.
Yeah, that's really nice because they're still pushing bottom. They're not all in committing to defending top. They're meanwhile just laying into his bottom tower. Meanwhile, Puck though is free on the mid lane to do a bit of chip damage to mid tower. Looks like Storm is gonna defend that.
Yeah, this tower's going down bottom, so definitely worthwhile. They get a tower, they got to kill top, didn't lose mid. Had some damage on it for sure, but...
Pretty even overall so far. No team really pulling ahead with like a massive advantage, but maybe a little bit of an advantage here for Cuyes Esports doing some good rotations.
I would love to see Knight be more aggressive. I feel like you've got like a Storm, you've got a Crystal Maiden, you've got all these nice pairings, even like your core, right? The way that he's built. Go find yourself like a pick-off. Go be a menace. Force them into a different portion of the map.
Yeah. For now, it looks like he's just going to try and stack up the big camp again here. They have a huge stack actually prepared for Timber or Storm to come and clear.
Found themselves a Tiny again. Their extension coming into play with Bushwhack over to the side,
on the
but
way.
they haven't quite managed to finish him off just yet. Let's have that Spirit Breaker zooming on in. In comes the Storm, and he is silenced. Double silence. Frostbite, though, coming into play, buying them a little bit more time. They'll get the kill on Drake. They'll turn it back around. You can see the Enchantress and the Zedwing trying to get away, but the rest of the team, they have shown up with numbers to protect their Tiny, and they say, you are not welcome here in our jungle. Double kill for Knight.
That's a huge punishment right there. And even Puck right now being charged, but he finds himself a region. He's going to be fine. I don't think they can find this kill in any way. No ulti on Spirit Breaker. We'll see, though. He won't mess this up.
It's pretty hard to lock him down currently, I think.
Yeah. That was very, very nice reactions to the gank. And even without the insurmountable, you know, it doesn't really matter. Crash landing Tiny is still very durable. And the damage from that toss, he turned it around and contributed a lot in the fight.
He has a blink coming out now too, so we're about to see him become very, very active, I have a feeling. And like that feels bad too for this Night Stalker. Night Stalker, when he used his Dark Ascension, because like we talked about it, Drake needs to be the one who's kind of, you know, helping make these plays early, and he's just hasn't been very fruitful, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, he hasn't had the nicest start, and a lot of that comes back to the laning stage where he got bullied by the Soul Ring repeated toss from Tiny. Just got spammed out in the lane. And we see a smoke coming in from Dire, setting up mid, perhaps. They would like a bigger kill than Hoodwink, but they're probably going to take it and just go for mid
This is
tower.
the blink reveal. Avalanche toss. Jesus, all right. Well, there was a squirrel there. It's now roadkill, as in the bottom lane. They have found themselves someone else to take advantage of, so they get a kill on Illa.
Good kill for them. So they get the bigger pickoff, but at the same time, the mid tower is being threatened, and they're not really pushing a tower themselves. And she is trying to do so at top. She found herself some Dark Troll Summoner, so that's going to take tower very fast if nobody is around.
And they've done a lot of warding up in the side of the Dire's jungle. Very good vision, because they did try to protect, looks like, for this Tiny, but Tiny, he's already migrated down. Looks to not be wanting to farm that area currently, especially with the other team there.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be the one to clear up the big camp as well. So he's going for a Kanda rush after the blink, already building towards that factory.
Top lane, Timber, he is the one that's got to kind of soak up this more dangerous farm, but it is just so difficult. Pops the magic wand, turns around, they'll let it go with the Crystal Maiden, but the silence coming into play now. Knight trying to decide, do they go back in? What is the angle? The break applied over to Crystal Maiden, Waning Rift. End up losing MJZ, is now Slatums and Knight on the run. Drake keeping tabs. You can see the Sprinking just following right behind, but he's got the mana. Ooh, he almost managed to get that grab there. We'll drag back into a beautiful Dream Coil. And it looks like we're gonna end up losing that Spirit Breaker. The silence, man, these silences, we talked about it earlier, but they need some sort of defensive item to be able to survive.
Yeah.
You have this much on deck.
You need more to survive, and you need to play closer to each other. This Timbersaw, he keeps finding himself a little bit too far out, completely isolated, gets jumped, and he didn't go for a tanky build. He has a Kaya first item, which is great on Timbersaw, but if you get jumped by multiple heroes and you don't have anyone near you, Kaya does not help you survive. So until he gets an Eternal Shroud or Lotus Orb or something here for survival, he needs to start playing a little bit closer to his team.
I'd love to see a Yule's picked up. We have Crystal Maiden. She's thinking about getting the 4-staff, pretty standard in a Crystal Maiden kit. But a Yule's here would be very, very advantageous, I think, when you consider Night Stalker and Puck both have the silences.
Yeah, it would be decent. I think all of the heroes individually have two important timings going for them, though. The Storm going for that Orchid Rush almost has it now, only 400 gold away. And Tiny has, you know, like we already talked about, going for his burst build with Kanba. So it's kind of hard to say who's going to go for it. Maybe CM could hope to get it, but it would still be a long way away.
Yeah.
Looks like he's changing his mind from the Shroud to going for Shivas instead on the Timber right now. Bringing the Veil in his quick buy.
I feel like we haven't checked in with the Chaos Knight in quite a while here. He's got his armlet completed.
And the Orchid on the way. Yeah, he's going Orchid as well. So early Orchid, again, aggression, right? And a third silence against that Storm would be really lovely. Then all their cores can initiate on Storm. Again, seeing this BKB queued up for Night Stalker after Phylactery, though, I would really love to see the Blink Dagger instead.
I feel like he just hasn't been able to find the opportunities that he wants. Did participate in several of the kills, you know, but I don't think he's really snowballed the way that he was hoping.
He's having a bit of a quiet game, and you know, this is now daytime for 5 minutes coming up, so only has his ulti to play around. So yeah, not the highest impact in his game so far, but his team is doing pretty decent. You know, Puck is having a clean game, 2-0 and 3 right now. Has the Witchblade, only 1,000 gold to go for the Blink Dagger on Puck, and then he can be the initiator for a lot of these fights. Arcane Rune Smoke Gank.
They found themselves a Hoodwink, and they found themselves a Puck on the other side, so a little bit of confusion here as they get the hit off. Another hit, there we go. The dead Robo-Z followed up with a dead Hoodwink.
Looks so funny, the imbalanced Nether Strike. He just knocks the Puck all the way to his team there. This is not the usual facet, but it's definitely the more fun one to watch, I feel.
Another charge onto the Enchantress top. Does have those sprites, though, to keep her nice and healthy. And with Drake nearby, looks like won't pursue. Just yet, anyways.
Yeah, the CK is ready to join here as well. Has the Orchid, so he's thinking about maybe fighting. Even has the Phantasm Illusions for a little while. They're going in with a smoke.
I feel like it's been a very quiet game for the CK, too.
Yeah, he's trying to change that. Could find the Timber.
They know. They just have this preternatural sense here. It's always Illic, feels like. And there's not too much that MJZ can do other than throw out the Frostbite, slow him down just a bit, but the drag back, and they'll get themselves a Timbersaw.
Yeah, Timber, I think he's regretting not going for an even tankier build. The damage output is so high on this Radiant team, and they're really punishing Timber. Normally he's a menace in the early game, you know, super hard to kill until you get some big items going on your carry, but now they're finding the opportunities to kill him.
Again, I feel like all these silences are also proving to be an issue.
Oh yeah, it's equally painful for Timber as it is for Storm. Don't talk about it as much.
Storm sees Robo-Z. He's gonna give him a couple little plinks here. Has to be careful though. Hoodwink nearby. MJZ joining in, but not going to be able to do much more than just a couple pokes and prods.
Yeah, he needs more mana as well on Storm. Storm, by the way, with 22 mana regen already, going with the Clarity, of course. But this is some nice start to it for him, being galvanized 17. Of course, that is the new mechanic where he gets more and more mana regen for the kills he's in.
I feel like they've got such good aggressive vision up over into the Radiant jungle here that they're not necessarily taking advantage of.
Yeah,
So
they're
we do see the line being drawn after they smoke, so.
trying to get down there. Ench going for a dangerous bounty rune.
Really light. There's the find on the Enchantress, the drag back, just kind of pinballing her around a little bit. And the final toss over there, killed by her own creep.
Don't be mad.
Yeah.
Goodness.
You were saying about the light collector?
Where was it? Was it the timber that?
Timber has a light collector, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's so weird. Like, because it destroys trees. Like, don't you want to have?
That's a nice thing for him now. It's like extra mana regen, because destroying trees gives him mana now. It's a new innate, right? And it gives you a bunch of regen as well. I always wish we could see the options though, because
just seeing poor Hoodwink.
Yeah, he just gets ganked. Nobody is affiliated with him. Everyone runs away. They're like, we don't know who that Hoodwink is. Blink is up on the puck though and has the coil ready.
So that works with exposure therapy. that actually works with that. I wasn't sure if that was something that he had to destroy the trees with like one of his abilities, or it's.
Yes, Quelling Blade works too. You can just Quelling Blade a tree in lane all game, and you keep getting mana back. Oh. Anyway, you cut a tree as Timber saw.
Oh, that's kind of bonkers.
Yeah, it's a nice. I mean, it's not a massive thing, but it definitely gives you some neat mana regen addition here and there if you use it.
Yeah, no, I just like when you consider it, in the scheme of like having those neutral items too.
Yeah, it can also be nice for sometimes if you're Timber and the enemy go on you, you use Light Collector to kill the trees near you, so you can Timber Chain something beyond those trees, right? If you want to Timber Chain far away. Right. Then you can kind of utilize that to get out. Obviously, you can often do that with Chakram and Whirling Death, but if they're on cooldown, I've seen people use it.
Or if you're silenced.
Yeah, true. I guess then you're not getting anywhere with the Timber Chain, sadly, but. Oh, the Tiny has a full Kanda, by the way, completed. That is a very early Kanda. I really want to see him fight someone just because I want to see the Avatar's combo damage with what he has right now. It would be pretty significant. Yeah, they're saying Radiant is playing top.
It's kind of interesting to see how far... Just how far apart they're playing, though. It's kind of interesting to me, considering, the builds that they've got, the heroes that they've got.
Yeah, they could group a bit more, I feel, on Dire and look for the fights, but at the same time, it's nighttime right now. Maybe they're just trying to waste some of the nighttime, split push a bit, and build towards more key items.
Look at... Chaos Knight has a haster and was just running at Illich's general direction. I was like, ooh, that's not going to go well for him. This poor guy has just been hunted. Yeah.
And he has that Manta style coming in as well soon for this DK. Gonna be nice. Apparently, someone said that they play like Shadow Demon against CK and they got an extra illusion because when you make an illusion of Chaos Knight, you can get an extra one.
Yeah, I mentioned that yesterday during the broadcast.
Yeah, was you that brought it up?
Terrorblade also gives the Again, is it a bug? Is it a feature? We're not sure.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting. Doesn't look like they can abuse it this game though. Early Tormentor here being taken, so gonna get that shard for Spirit Breaker.
Always nice to have the bonus speed.
Yeah.
Zip around a little bit faster.
This shard is very, very basic, but very good. Every Spirit Breaker is happy about just going faster. There's nothing to complain about there. And the old shard was, a little bit awkward. Now you have it as an Aghanims instead, the planar pocket thing. I haven't really seen anyone use it yet, though. The Aghanim Scepter doesn't really get priority on Spear Breaker. Gonna be a BKB instead for him, so he can just go in and not be prevented from reaching his target.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the next step for most people here is that BKB. Same thing is queued up over on Tiny. Seems to be pretty important.
Night Stalker 400 gold away from his
Storm's gonna have one
well.
soon. Yeah.
And Timber has his, of course.
This next fight is gonna. I'm curious if they want to try to make a move before they have. Yeah, look at this. They group up.
Yeah.
No smoke just yet. Just gets delivered. It's gonna go and push out this top area. Probably secure themselves the top tower.
It's also playing towards that.
Maybe even look at a Roche.
Yeah, playing towards the Roche. A Storm just zips by an Ench here. Ench gets caught. And the toss combo did a tremendous amount of damage.
Looks like Sladam's teleporting down to the bottom lane using the gate. It's gonna be a full rotation here. From the side of the Cuyes. They see this puck. They've got the charge. Zip in here from the Storm plus the Orchid. Get the drag back, the toss up into the air, and yeah, it's this little gang squad. It's paying off.
I like that he even tossed him to the creeps. He was like using him for efficiency to farm. He knew that he was dead no matter what. So that's a little bit of a baller play right there by Tiny. Oh my!
Like finding himself Zika here, just cuts him down. Woo!
Yeah, the Hoodwink only has 934 max HP right now, so he dies pretty fast to a combo from the Timber. I did not expect him to insta burst, but you know, life of an Agi support.
It's like a little meat pinata over there. BKB gets used on Drake. So he's gonna just fly around Slatums, but follow up here from Knight, buying him some time with these bashes. Another silence follow-up though. Here comes Chaos Knight, and the response from Illick makes sure that they get themselves a kill out of that gank. There's a double damage here down at the bottom room that MJZ I'm sure is gonna point out, and Jim I think will definitely want to use it.
Yeah, gonna take that DD rune. Let's see if he does anything fancy with it, or if he just keeps farming the Ancients and clearing, building towards that BKB that he's working on himself. Doesn't look like they want to go for a Roche play or anything like that.
They don't have a lot of vision up anymore on the side of the Dire. They've got some nice wards up here. You can tell they want to go for this tier 2 top. But it's a little spooky down in the bottom area, although Night Stalker's dead for another 10 seconds.
Yeah. We are seeing a little bit of a spam of Eul Scepters coming out, but from Radiant this game, we have Euls already over on the Hoodwink, Euls as well on the Puck. So dealing with our Orchid from the Storm, and also good against Spirit Breaker, of course. Fantastic against him.
Yeah.
Both teams playing towards timings right now. Even with the Night Stalker having his BKB, looks like he wants to keep farming towards the Aghanim's Shard as well next year.
Would you have liked to have seen him be more... I mean, yes, I can kind of answer this question. Like, you said that you would have loved to have seen him go for that Blink Dagger, but...
Yeah, I mean, the BKB is great.
Not tacking over onto the Enchantress, but they do drop the Dream Coil. In comes Park. He's so slow, he tries to hit her. Knight left behind is going to end up paying for it, though.
Just a 1-for-1, but pretty good trade still. Getting the 760 gold there.
Illick was trying to go after the Hoodwink again. Didn't quite manage it.
Yeah, always looking for that low HP hero to burst him.
I was casting a game, I think it had Eternal Envy in it, and he had a Tiny, didn't opt to go for the Echo Saber, and he got like the Craggy coat.
Uh-oh, Night Stalker? Or...
And just he could not hit things. Yeah, they're using that Eul Scepter to line him up. Goes for the BKB though, turns back around. He's just gonna teleport away, doesn't want to commit for this.
CK looking for a grab.
That was hilarious. I think it was casting with Jenkins, and Jenkins just lost his mind.
Yeah, I mean...
Giggling over it.
I mean, Envy brought a lot of joy and funny moments, I feel. They're gonna go for their own Roche attempt here bottom now on Radiant. They have the Bloodthorn on the CK. Gets the bonus illusion as well from the Phantasm. Has the Manta ready. They break Linken's. This game just take a lot of damage.
Okay, they are smoked up over on the side of Dire, so...
There's no way. That Roche was faster than he wanted. Still looking to run down, so they're looking to take the fight into the Aegis here, hoping the opponents are in a poor position after the Roche.
have no vision though. It's kind of scary. All right, I do find the Hoodwink. Looks like Hoodwink will be the first one to realize that people are down here. But now Drake might be forced to use that BKB, although they're holding them into place. They've got so much damage. Not even gonna bother. Just realizing. Oh, over on the back line, TK toss up into the air. Look at that damage. Oh my god.
Oh, that was such a good jump. They were using Warp Gate to try and get out. All three heroes were trying to gate out, and Tiny catches the CK before he gets through. So his teammates already left him, just completely isolated.
Look at Slatums. He's still hunting. He realizes that there's somebody else here. He goes to the zip, sees himself this Enchantress, but she's got the Ogre, or the Seal Totem. He's gonna hop away.
Yeah, Hurricane Pike and Ogre Seal Totem, so got some good response. Puck jumped in.
Click off in the top lane. There's that Yules though, like we talked about. Uses the Dream Coil, but in comes Knight. You gotta remember, wherever you see one of their teams. Oh, that's a lot of damage though coming out from this Enchantress. Oof. Too much damage to him to have to deal with as they use the Yules again over on Tiny. Nice push. Wax Latums though. He's used his BKB. He wants Robo Z. He wants to be able to get this kill, and he'll find it. Already using that Aegis. As you see Illa coming over onto the back lines. He's got his eyes here, Drake, over on MJZ. But this Crystal Maiden surprisingly living quite a decent amount of time. Just enough time to be able to allow Jim to turn back around, blink, and get his combo off.
That was personal from Night Stalker, just chasing down that CM like, yeah, I know I'm gonna die, but I'll get you. And
goodbye, Illa.
Disposing of the Timber. That was some super fast burst. Look at all those illusions. 7 illusions spawned, and Bloodthorn hits pretty hard when you do that.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
A full army.
Yeah, some brawls happening. Still working up better for Dire here. They got the Aegis removed now on Puck as well, so no reason to play defensive. You can keep fighting, just run at your opponents. And we're starting to see this Tiny, scaling to be both a good carry, but also that burst damage.
Oh, looks like Hoodwink. No, Park. No. Yep, they'll finish him off. I was just laughing because I was watching the CK take the Tormentor by himself, and we saw how much damage the Enchantress can make if she's allowed to step back. Now she'll have that Sproink on top of it, but kind of in a little bit of a no man's land here right now. Have to be a bit careful.
Dear Lord, he has so much mobility. Sproink, Hurricane Pike, and Ogre Seal Totem. This Enchantress is just hopping forwards, backwards, sideways.
That seems to be the name of the game when you have so many heroes that can rush you, whether you're a Storm, a Spirit Breaker, or of course the Blink. Although the Blink over on Jim Park, you're pretty lucky if you survive that.
Yeah, and this
top
lane looking for Timber again. Gonna back it up. CK has to be very cautious because he's the one core hero who didn't choose to go for a BKB here along with the Puck.
Oh boy.
Finds his moment.
See MJZ. Yeah, Slam's got to get out of there fast too. This is a lot of burst damage.
Blink is off cooldown again for CK. Can jump someone.
Oh, right into Robo Z, finding 2. See that BKB come out from Knight as he's going to zip onto the back line. See themselves the Hoodwink. The Yule's coming into play though. Again, buys just a little bit more time. It's going to be enough though to keep him alive as Jim finds the opening, gets a toss, finishes him up. And now over on the back lines, it is the Timber versus Night Stalker. Night Stalker looking for his prey. Isn't going to be able to quite grab Knight thanks to that Shadow Blade. So it looks like both teams perhaps just losing supports only.
Yeah, gonna reset here.
Were expended, and so were some of those ultis.
A lot of spells being used there. Some very, very crazy positioning going on. Storm has to keep running away from the CK in that fight. Had to try and avoid getting caught and bursted. We saw how fast the CM died before the fight started. And almost the same thing happened to the Storm, but CK didn't have any illusions ready when he caught the Storm with his 2-second stun. If you had Manta or Phantasm ready, I think you would have killed him there too.
Going for the Enchantress again. Waiting patiently for Park to come over. But again, we have that mobility. Look at her go. Look at her. Just not enough mobility against Spirit Breaker though. Right now is over into the jungle. Oh, almost ending up losing that puck right away. Very scary for RoboZ. The Zip 4 from Slatums looking to see if he can find him, but not going to be able to. Illick's still on the hunt. They have the vision. You can see Knight chasing after, waiting patiently, waiting. Rift needs another little poke, but over on the back line, still end up losing. Could Knight, he wants this. Oh, but in comes the CK, protects his puck. He says, get your filthy hands off of my mid laner.
We see it time and time again. DCMC just finding these jumps on heroes who get a little bit isolated, and that's when CK can just absolutely maul them into pieces. And little shout out to Hoodwink there. Died a martyr. Very nice Glimmer Cape onto the CK. Saved him from getting bursted. Speaking of,
Ooh,
again, people just can't
gosh.
show on the lanes here. That's rough though,
You know
because
what's the funniest thing though is that we've seen so much fighting and we have not seen any towers being taken.
Yeah, they're focusing on heroes at this point. You know, just continuously playing towards opponent heroes instead. It's hard for either team to just go for pushing. I feel like if Dire won a few fights, they could push with their Tiny quite easily, but Radiant are really opted just to gank instead.
Yeah, I'd like to see them try to like push out these waves and then make something happen, because a lot of times I feel like, again, because it's such a mobile team coming out from both sides now at this point, I feel like they're taking these fights in this like no man's land where they don't have the creeps and they can't immediately, you know, turn it back around and be able to get an objective.
There's a lot of fights going on over no territory, where they're in the middle of nowhere. But now, posturing up for mid, going for that mid tier 2, so this is not going to be contested. They still have Storm dead. That pickoff on mid was really big. They bought a gem and put it on Storm.
A gem, trying to... Yeah.
I mean, vision is super important because anytime that you're under enemy vision here, you get jumped by a Night Stalker, jumped by Puck or a CK, and all of them are bad news for you. CK now with a Hex. What a huge pickup.
Radiant are scanning.
Making their way over. Do you scan? Know that they're over in the bottom portion of the map, or rather the right-hand side of the map now. They're adjusting.
CK looking to get something out of this gem.
I'm sure they'd love to get their hands on that gem. Dump forward immediately, getting the setup over onto Illick. He's forced to use his BKB, but he's got the nullifier onto the bottom lines though. They've got their eyes on CK, and they just rip him apart. Not looking good now for Drake either, as this Tiny hits so hard. The chase is on. They need to slow down this Puck, but he's got himself that haste rune. He's going to be able to get out.
To say that that was optimistic is an understatement. That was crazy. Just blinking straight into the enemy base. Didn't have any vision on people showing outside the map or something. Very much a hopeful play from CK. Didn't work out there. Good punish coming in. Now this level 25 Tiny going in has 2 toss charges. And just quick on the reaction.
Oh, jeez. The toss back up, though, it doesn't matter. He's got the burst. Yeah, look at that. Magical damage. Oh,
that's the damage from a single toss. He has 2 charges as well. He can keep attacking as well.
Now we're going to be able to see them put some more pressure over onto the other side of the map. Potentially take some buildings.
Still looking for anyone who tries to defend. Looks like Agi Blink is going to be the next item of choice here for Tiny. Get himself a bit more attack speed as well as movement speed.
I feel like RoboZ, again, you know, he's got these defensive items, he's got ways to get out, but like, almost feels like he's flirting with disaster a little bit when you have so many heroes that can just pop up out of nowhere with their shadow blades and whatnot.
Yeah, it's rough. He's going for a pretty standard, like, stay alive Puck builds. He doesn't have a huge damage spike yet, but if late game he can get an Aghanim Scepter, maybe he can do more. It's PK hitting caught.
Park wants to fight. Park wants to fight, and they will just obliterate poor CK. Jump forward onto the back lines here from Slatums as they finish off the Hoodwink. They want more, and there's a lot of damage that being dished out. He's got to be very, very careful. RoboZ into the thick of things. Is he going to be able to finish off the storm? Will be able to, but they get a massive kill over onto 2. And now they're chasing them right into the base. Good hoodwink here, hitting them over, pushwhacking them to those trees, but it's only going to... Oh gosh, all right, Illic, calm down, friend.
Get back out again. Looks like we're just seeing a push now from
strike.
Tiny.
What a hit force.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy the burst they have. If they get initiation on the CK like that, you know, he's just farming a pretty dangerous territory. And in Park, he has been running around looking for those pickoffs.
They're just going to be respawning soon, so if they wanted to, they could opt to take these racks and maybe back and go grab themselves an Aegis.
Yeah, they're going mid as well, though. They want more.
Oh, they see themselves an opening. They just want to obliterate this Enchantress, and by gosh, they'll be able to do it.
That's 50 seconds. No buyback on the Ench as well.
Still no CK for about 18. That'll be the mid-racks taken down. They still have a tier 2 in the top lane, but they have quite the wave coming in with the double cardi. Jim, he's thinking about it. Oh, he's thinking about it. Yeah, he's gonna go for it. BKB gets used, plus the Hex. Obliterated. There's just nothing that they can do. There's no buyback on the CK. They'll drop into the back lines, try to put some pressure over on MJZ, but he's just a little support. Rest of the team hold over into the Dream Coil off to the side, but this Tiny, he is hunting, and he'll be able to finish off. That's a double kill. They'll get the kill over onto Hoodwink, and they'll turn right back around. They want Robo-Z. They'll call the GG. There's just nothing that they can do with this burst damage.
Yeah, I mean,
coming
that
out
was
from Jim Park and the team.
a very, very impressive performance coming out from them. Really nicely played by
International 13. So they have to bring their A game and pull out all the stops.
We see immediate smoke here from Radiant coming out. Dire are not going for a smoke at all. They don't have one. So they're just going to chill and try and hold high grounds, it looks like. Doing some anti-smoke plays here.
It's an interesting ward over here.
They did
Not
spot them.
traditional necessarily.
They saw the Grimstroke for a split second. Pudge is looking for the angle here. If they can get a Gale, he's going to hook.
Moving over, there it is. There's that hook. This could be a very nice start for the side of Cuyes. See, maybe a little bit more damage here. There it is. Illic will be very happy to start off with the first blood.
He'll be happy for the first blood, and Jim Park is going to be happy for that bonus 1.4 strength, you know, flesh heap coming in already.
A little denial of warding here.
Yeah, at least preparing to deny it. See, he's leaving it for now, I guess, just holding it.
I mean, you got a Pudge, right? So if they start to come over there, you just throw out another hook.
The battle begins.
Yeah, looks like not much else is gonna go down. We see a nice 2-for-2 on the runes here, and Venno does finally go and deward his own ward. So not taking any chances of getting away that experience and gold to his opponents. They got the first blood with the ward. That's the only purpose really for it. Mid lane, pretty nice block for the Slardar here. Gets the creeps in a favorable position to kind of control the lane.
Yeah, you were saying that this is definitely a Slardar favored matchup.
I think it's a great matchup, yeah. And this becomes a pretty hard lane for Void Spirit pretty quickly. We'll see how well he can do. So far, Sledam using the crush and harassing a little bit.
So what lane really, you know, it's important that this Pudge obviously pops off and survives the laning phase, starts getting real big, but what do they need to have happen over on the side of Fantasy?
I think for them, they need to shut down that top lane pretty well with the Weaver and Wind Ranger. This is a very strong laning combo, and you do not want to lose a lane when you put these two heroes together, I feel. So probably top is going to be the important one, and honestly, mid, Robo-Z has a lot of pressure on not getting crushed here, you know, by this Slardar. Pardon the fun.
You and Kevin do this all the time. Purge is like so bad about like making these puns, and the worst part is he doesn't know it. He never knows it.
It's the same for me. I'm the same as Purge there. I don't think about it. It's not intentional, I swear.
Sure, it's not. Sure.
It's like the subconscious, you know. You tend to speak in a certain way, influenced by your surroundings.
Are dad jokes a thing in Sweden too?
Nope.
Really?
Maybe. Oh, we see a gale.
Ah,
and
there it is.
oh,
This is what we talked about. He's gonna back off, and still though,
so
it makes
slow.
it very difficult because that's slow, like we talked about, and then you just have MJZ continuously nice deny. This does leave him very susceptible though now.
Focus off cooldown
Because he's
soon.
all on his own. He's so slow. That's just gonna be a dead spirit breaker.
This is one of the grossest lanes you can imagine. Just a Veno Pudge. Like, what are you supposed to do? And even though you got the deny on your Grimstroke there, that still
You die
gives
too.
strength. Yeah.
You die. Yeah,
exactly.
It's awful. Like.
This bottom lane is not starting out in a good way at all. They're not getting to CS. They're not getting to play the lane. 5 CS only on Spirit Breaker right now.
I mean, you lose no matter what, right? Because you get the denial off great, but then you end up dying, and then the entire time you still have them farming, doing whatever they want, and you've got to come back to lane. Plus, when you have your support come back to lane, if he teleports down, that means his teleport's
a hook
not available.
again?
What are you doing there, friend? You can't do that. That's way too greedy. This Pudge is going to be massive.
Oh boy. And that means he has to walk to the lane as well.
Yeah.
Walk of Shame is on the menu for him. And that was you willingly like rooting yourself there. He must expect if he stands still, Pudge isn't on the lane, you know, stand still channeling the Lotus, that Pudge is going to try and hook him. I thought he was going to bait the hook at first there by starting to channel Lotus and quitting it.
It was a full committal. I'm concerned because RoboZ is, you know, he's definitely struggling against the Slardar, and he doesn't have the opportunity to really have any sort of rotations come out, right? Because this Weaver can't do a whole heck of a lot, and then like constantly that bottom lane, it's just a kill lane.
Yeah, and bottom lane is just a murder lane for sure, like you said, and this mid lane is only gonna get worse and worse. It doesn't get better for the Void at some point. Like, you don't hit level 5 and suddenly it's nicer. Slardar, if anything, just takes more and more control here. Even
He's
this
just
bowling
ring
him on
around
the
the Rosie
tower.
here on the tower. And there are creeps there. They go and they use the fort too to make sure that he doesn't take excess tower damage. But what do you do with this bottom lane? Is it worth it to try to rotate one of your supports up top at this point because you don't want to keep feeding? But then what do you do with your Spirit Breaker? Because he can't stay there on his own, really.
I think it's the big camp pull. You have to play around the big camp over and over. Don't get too far down on the lane. I'm looking towards mid, but I don't really see how you kill with like Grimstroke or Spirit Breaker coming in and helping Void Spirits. There's no kill there. And they would love to go top, but then they would have to utilize the Warp Gate, which they can't reach, or use TP Scroll to get top, I guess. But it's all pretty grim for them already on Fantasy. Hail
They're
connects.
slow, and this is just going to keep on happening. And at least the Spirit Breaker does have that little bit of a charge to try to, you know, make some distance.
He didn't have mana this time on Pudge. He was missing. He needed clarity up a little bit there. So if he had hook, he could probably just have hooked him during the charge as well. Since you're not really moving at any high speeds.
That's the one saving grace for them right now, is that Pudge needs to be continuously having mana.
Out of mana from killing you so much. Oh no, what a hook.
Oh, goodbye.
Yeah, like I said, you need to utilize that Warp Gate, and that just plays into Pudge's hand. You know, he gets to hook you almost under tower there. It's just disaster on the off lane.
This is very, very difficult. Yeah, 71.4% accuracy right now. Woo!
Fantastic hooks coming out from Jim Park, looking very, very solid.
Poor RoboZ, he just can't do anything. Do you see a little bit of a skirmish here for the 6-minute rune? Put some pressure over onto the Hoodwink. Should be able to get this kill.
Legion rune bottom. Void Spirit wants it. But,
It's already got
controlled.
MJZ in position to snap it up though, so that's a sad RoboZ. Empty bottle, Slatums, you know, putting out a little bit of that damage here. Does have to be careful, has a charge on him, but you have MJZ, he's turning back around. He's going to be able to provide some protection. I don't know how much, considering that there are 4 heroes here, but They're still hot for it. They get a kill, even though they'll end up losing slams. They'll end up losing RoboZ. And now, of course, Knight's here. Just Venomancer, just so gross. Are they going to just go for the denial here, you think?
Yeah, he has to. Gets to deny. Now running for Venal, trying to do something to him. Doesn't have any spell in Grimstroke. It's just auto attacks.
There's so many wards up here, too. I don't think Zik wants to fight into that. Like, maybe the Weaver? They dropped the Sentry, though. Stroke of Fate. Throwing out some of that Swarm. They need to be careful. They could end up losing both of these supports. Lose at least one of them. And it looks like Chris will be able to survive for the time being, but just some nasty, nasty stuff going on here in this mid lane. Another charge over onto the Hoodwink. This is a very action-packed lane. Knight continuing to give these plinks. Nice bushwhack. Needs a little bit more damage though to finish him off. And RoboZ, he just teleported in too, so already so very, very low. Slatum looking like he wants to finish off Drake. We'll be able to find it. The TPs just keep rolling in. What is happening? Here comes Jim Park. He's like, hey, I want some of this. I want some of these flash sheet stats. Chasing after him. Just comes over, starts rotting all over. Of course, he cannot escape a Pudge. He came to the mid lane. Pudge just followed him.
Oh my god.
And he's not leaving. Look at him. He's like, where you at?
He knows he has amp on him. He gets the
hook.
hook.
He gets the hook. Needs just a little bit more damage, but he has the ultimate. It's gonna drag him back. Needs just a bit more. And even the Wind Ranger now getting in on this action. It's just like, this is a disaster.
Oh no, Wind Ranger also in danger.
Oh, right into Park. Sees himself, the Hoodwink too. Everybody's here. Oh, poor Wind Ranger. They're just bullying the Ginger now.
They're toying with him at this point. They didn't even kill him there. They backed up and said, okay, Jim Park, shoot your shot, hit the hook, and he got it.
We gotta pad those stats, you know? We gotta make sure that you have a really good
yeah, they're having fun.
Slotums.
They're having fun right now in Cuyes.
Oh my goodness.
Vandal
That's
ulti.
a very dead.
Void
Also
Spirit
probably
gets hooked on
dead.
mid. Dead again.
Everybody's dying. Literally everyone's dying. Slatum's to the bottom lane. He's just chasing after everyone. MJZ gets a kill on RoboZ. Battle of the Z's. I don't know. This game has quickly gotten out of control, Waga.
What is this game? Oh no, the saddest Windrunner ulti. He lands like 2 hits.
And look at Jim Park. He's waiting. He's like, come here. Come here. Oh, so close. Ooh. Not going to be able to quite land it.
Yeah, not far off the mark. Slardr's back. Also looking to run at people. Meanwhile, Pango is like, why do I not have any enemies up here? What the hell? You guys are hogging all the fun.
Don't question it, Illich. Just take your farm and enjoy it.
Yeah, he's taking a tower up there on his own.
This is a circus right now. Oh my gosh. Clown shoes. Alright, might be able to finally get a kill on Slotums here. Get the silence off. Another hit. Okay, there we go. There we go. RoboZ finally gets his vengeance. Finally removes the fishman off the map, but
man,
boy, does it take a lot of heroes.
Everything that could go wrong went wrong, it feels like. 7,000 gold advantage at 9 minutes now.
Oh my god. How many, what do we have for Flesh Heap Staff? We got 10 Flesh Heap Staffs on Parker already. It's not even 10 minutes yet, Waga.
Yeah, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. It is so quick, and they're going in, looking for more now. Pango's starting to move over, thinking about getting involved.
Alright, they'll find themselves a Hoodwink, a nice little hit and run. Yeah, but in comes Illich. They've got the vision, they've got the wards. He would like to get some kills underneath his belt, too, as he's gonna roll around, finds himself that kill. This mid lane, the heat map on this game must be insane for mid lane right now. I just have to say.
A big red dot on the mid lane, that's all.
Absolutely. Got a
Late
party
Bell
wave
already
here.
on the Pudge, by the way. So he has a counter now to getting focus fired and a little bit of protection for himself.
He's got 1,700 health already. Good God.
Yeah, he's getting enormous. And look at the aggression from the Venomancer positioning now as well, starting to invade the enemy territory, using these wards, shutting down any movement really from Dire. Mid tower starting to take some damage from this catapults.
Then just look at the way that they move here. They're in position. They're putting down their vision using their wards. They're also applying that poison. It's just they're playing this so well. They're playing this so
and a smoke
well.
coming in for it as well. The Pudge on the way in smoke.
Shield craft, nice slow plus the Veno ultimate. That Hoodwink bushwhack. There's the drag back from Park. A little bit of the sharpshooter. Follow up. That's a dead Wind Ranger. Slider. He's doing so much with the Slider. It is absolutely wild. We'll end up losing the Slider, but they find themselves Drake. They'll finish him off. That's a double kill now for MJZ. And they want more. Soulbind will get used over onto the back lines, but they immediately just cut it off. This is not looking good for this Grimstroke. It's not looking good, honestly, for Fantasy period right now.
Yeah, they are just completely falling apart. It's rough, but at the same
memed.
time, look at Cuyes and how they're playing. They're really they picked all in fighting heroes, and they started, minute zero bottom, even before minute zero with that first kill they got on the hook, and they just never stopped.
I say that they're getting memed, but also this is just a real legit strategy.
What a
Threads
nice
the needle.
hook.
Now he has a Blink Dagger. This Pudge has 7.7 net worth right now at 12 minutes in. Like, most people are just leaving laning stage at this point. We have left laning stage at like 3 minutes into this game.
Yeah, it's just all open right now. It's full on hunting season here for Cuyes. They are chasing after the Weaver. He's happy he has Shukuchi maxed out because it is not a safe world out there.
There's 26 kills in this game already at 12 minutes. I miss South American Dota, man.
They're
I
looking
love
for
this
Pango.
stuff. Who are they
Maybe a
gonna
kill?
grab? Okay, they'll grab themselves the Grimstroke. I think they probably wanted, well, there's multiples over here. And again, we get that Patient Zero. That split here with that ultimate. Real nasty stuff with the slow. Drake, he's gonna be first to fall. Robo Z. Oh my god. Alright,
Dear
Jim
Lord.
Park. Alright, look at him go. Give him the ultra kill. Ah, they're not gonna be able to
Give
quite
him the
get it.
rampage.
They're waiting. Look at them. Look at them. They're waiting. There, oh, and that's a missing.
He ties to the sting. They're trying to pass over the kill.
I know. The GGs get called. This is just this game is done.
Yeah, it's
Unfortunately for Fantasy. This ends their TI dreams for this year.
man, Jim Park. What a game for him. Absolutely absurd. I mean, he was facilitated and set up by MJC a lot with the Venomancer. That was just a dirty combo.